disabled, don't have family to take care of them, incapable of getting a job. Maybe they was silly when they were young and had a rap sheet and they can't get a job, so they're stuck being on the street and they're panhandling. They're living in the city. How scared are those people? They're still people. They're still people. They still count. I know. Tons and tons of times I walk by and take money out of my pocket. They're not asking me for it. I give it to them because I can see their plight. Because I used to live on the street. Not for long, but I did. When I was 18. Haven't since. I've always had shelter. So you can understand why I'm listening to Tool. Because they're all a bunch of fucking tools. And this music represents my frustration. Because there's tension in it. It's dark, which I love dark anyway. It's theatrical. Because this election year, it's theatrical. Trump versus Hillary, Monday. I hope you all watch it. So let's talk a little bit more about the black flight. I want to know, as a gun owner, I want to believe, knowing that Hillary is letting all these terrorists come into this country. And if you don't think it's a problem, go do some research in Germany, because the people there are uprising because they've had enough of the Islamic overpopulation. Like I mentioned to you folks, it might not happen overnight in a day, but it'll be a population demand. In 10 years, 15 years, when they freaking overpopulate this country and then take advantage of our Constitution and push that Sharia law and totally uproot, we're going to have a civil war. What are you black folk going to do when some fucking Islamic asshole decides that they want to control your beautiful, lovely black wife and make her do things that she don't want to do, and because they think that they have a right, dig a hole and put her in a hole and stone her to fucking death because she don't want to fucking put a towel over her face or show that nice body. She don't want to be Islamic. What are you gonna do then? Loot some fucking buildings? Really? Is that what you're going to do? Cross over a highway and block traffic? Is that what you're going to do? Shoot innocent people? Is that what you're gonna do? How do you think Michael Jordan feels knowing that you fucking trashed the Hornets store? How many of you got fucking Hornet hats? You dumb fucking assholes. You dumb fucking assholes. And that man fucking gave a couple of million to some as contributions to causes to help the issues. And you go and you ransack his place, huh? What does that say about black tradition, black heritage, black culture? What does that say? You're all just digging your own fucking grave. Why? What are you proving? If you look through history, you'll see that people who don't help themselves, who request constant handouts, end up being the plight. And here it is, right in our faces. So here's what you do, black folk. And I want to think that those that are educated, those that carry on with integrity, who legally carry a gun to protect yourself, I'm 110% about that. I know, I carry my gun. But we should be protecting those who are not allowed to carry a gun. And that includes the ex-thugs. The deterrent should be, if you can't carry it legally, don't carry at all. That's the concept. You clean up your life. Then maybe someone in your family that you hang out with that does not have a record, you allow them to carry the gun for legal protection. I don't know about you folk, but that kind of makes common sense to me. Do any of you have any common sense? Crickets? Crickets? Crickets?
You would make me destroy myself. In order to survive you, I must first survive myself.
Listen closely.
And I can sink no further, and I cannot forgive you. There's no choice but to confront you, to engage you, to erase you. I've gone to great lengths to expand my threshold of pain. I've used my mistakes against you. There's no other choice. Show us now. Name us now. Knowing now. Knowing now. That my soul must be iron. Cause my fear's naked. Naked and fearless. And my fear is naked.
So is that how you black folk feel? Dead inside? How do you think a cop feels when he tells you to put the gun down? I am not going to listen to these Sputniks saying that you can't understand a command. Do not tell me your mother or your father, either or if you had one or the other, or maybe you were fortunate and had both. When you were a kid, your parents didn't say, sit down, eat your dinner, go to bed. Don't make me come over there. Really? So now as an adult, other adults are going to give you the excuse that you don't understand? Put the gun down. Put your hands over your head. Get down on the ground. You can't comprehend this? What? Don't be dead inside. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Tool fucking rocks. As a bass player, this was one of my favorite bands to play to. this is one of those bands I toned and tuned in and molded my bass playing around. At least one of them. And you can understand. Rage Against the Machine is another one. But if you look for a Tool album, you will not be disappointed. They're all good. This one's just one of my favorites. And as proof that just because a cop sees a gun, he's not always ready to shoot you, white, black, or otherwise, I walk around town, open carry. As a matter of fact, the other day, standing right next to a cop pumping gas, and I purposely made sure he saw my gun on my holster, outside. Said nothing. Gave me no grief. Did not bother me. Why? Because I'm a responsible man. I'm not color coding it. I'm just saying man. Adult. Responsible. With common sense. Not an issue. And it's not the first time. I go into stores. I go into Walmart. I go into the gas station. I go at the dollar. I go into Starbucks. I go into the pizza place and sit down. At the bar, I don't drink. But I like to sit at the bar because that's where all the TVs are. When I want to sit down and have a meal. And yes, I carry my gun. Not because I want to be a vigilante. Fuck that. Who wants to be a vigilante? You're an idiot if you want to be that. But anywhere around me is not a soft zone. Now, could a black person walk around open carry? Probably not, but you want to know why? Because the racial tension is caused by black folk. Seriously. If 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when black people were getting more freedoms, there was racist back in the day. But if you think of protests back in the 60s, there were no guns. There was nobody shooting anybody. There were no thugs. It was free love, peace. Now, if it all had joined the society back then and went with the flow, and spent more time instead of trying to figure out how to cheat the system, how to do things illegally with drug dealings and stealing and not trying to get educated. And that doesn't mean you had to go to freaking school. It could have been you asked for a job as an apprentice and you worked for the lower wage. So be it. I did.